निमसे से जो लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी के वाइस चांसलर हैं। प्रोफेसर निमसे, स्टूडेंट्स और पॉलिटिक्स का पर्टिकुलरली लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या रिश्ता है?
Students or politics and Lucknow University, they are positively connected.
Okay.
In the sense, if you go by the present Akhilesh Yadav ministry, at least 7 to 8 ministers are our past student union chairman or secretary.
Okay.
And there is a tradition. And there was a myth among the students, especially coming from the rural area. अगर आप लखनऊ यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट यूनियन का अध्यक्ष बन गए या सेक्रेटरी बन गए तो आपने कम से कम एमएलए होना ही है, बाद में मिनिस्टर भी होना है. तो इसीलिए तो आउट ऑफ दैट फीलिंग अर्लियर अप टू 70s इट वाज ओके, up to 80 it was okay. After 80 there was violence come in picture and it becomes so violent. Many times गोलियां चलाती थी, मर्डर्स बहुत हो गए. It becomes a difficult to handle the Lucknow University because of students' unions election.
Okay.
And for last 5 to 6 years, the election never took place. High Court interfered, and there was a lot of torturing of this in the name of funds, election funds. The whole city was sometimes was captive, become captive of these gangs.
People were being squeezed for funds.
Squeezed for funds.
Okay.
Then court come forward and they interfere and they ask state government certain clarifications, and because of that, elections are not held for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay.
Personally, I am all in favor of election because ultimately higher education for students. And earlier, before this kind of bad elements come into picture, Lucknow University is producing best leaders. For example, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma is our student. He was lecturing in Lucknow University. There are many names.
Okay.
Out of this university politics and university education, they become national leader.
So how can university politics be kept clean?
If you follow strictly Lingdo Commission recommendation, and encourage the good students to participate in the election process, I think it can be made clean. Because all over the world, we witness that there are students' union. Recently, we had signed MOU with one of the universities in America,
okay.
University of California at Long Beach, and I've seen the students' union's office. They are managing everything, clubs, and they have a very rich office. Rich in the sense they are developing their own resources,
okay.
and helping the administration and reducing the burden of administration to a certain extent.
So it's like a support group.
Support group.
Okay.
In India, it's different. They feel that they want to extract something from the authority, and for extracting something, create all the time some troubles.
Okay.
And that's why things become unstable. But in spite of this reality, we must develop some mechanism so that we can hold the election regularly, and they must have a say for the students as far as the welfare measures are concerned in the decision making also. And from that point of view, I think that near future will come forward with some solution so that there will be elections among the students.
Today, when a young person moves into a college, aspirationally looks at after a 3-year or a 5-year period, wants a job. How do we make our curriculum and our courses such that every student who passes out is equipped to take on a good job?
I think that we are missing somewhere in curriculum framing, in our policy. We miss more in implementation. I will just give one figure. In Uttar Pradesh, I think 3-4 months back, they advertised the post for Pune, class 4. There was 366 posts.
Okay.
And applicants were 23 lakhs. 366 posts, and qualification record was 6 standard. And within applicants, there are 23 lakh applicants. There are M.Tech, B.Tech, even 255 PhDs. Because when they are interviewed, the PhD says that we are not getting good job, hardly in a private 10,000 rupees. And even I am in class 4, I will get 15 to 18,000 rupees. And they make this argument. And this is one, it's not isolated instance. Same thing happened in Raipur.
Okay.
For 150 seats, there were 90,000 applications in Raipur also.
And most of them overqualified.
Okay. Ati overqualified.
Ati overqualified. Okay.
So that means something is missing. And my personal perception is like this. We have a very peculiar situation in India. There are jobs, but there are no takers for such jobs. We won't get that kind of manpower required. And there are manpower, but they won't get a job, although they are qualified. Because in a globalized world, whether job is at Lucknow or small town or Delhi, the skill requires global nature.
True.
Employer may be local. They always think of global standards.
True.
That is now percolated through thanks to social media and all this.
And world is getting flatter, so yes.
So, but our education system is so rigid, we are not changing it. So I think that a different forum I talk about this. In Lucknow, Nanded also I tried some experiment. Here also I am trying. At least 1/3 part of our curriculum has to be skill oriented, and 2/3 has to be theoretical. Okay, one application type at every level.
Okay.
Roughly speaking, in some courses it may be 40%, some courses it may be 20%, but some component has to be skill oriented. And unless it is skill oriented, he cannot get the confidence that yes, after doing the graduation, I will do something.
Right.
And my another perception that although primary and secondary education is totally derailed, especially in government sector, but still some private schools are doing well. Schools and secondary and primary schools are doing well. Still there are enough students from primary and secondary for higher education. No doubt, a big chunk of students, especially from rural area, who are learning in private school, a government school, in spite of the fact that teachers are best paid, there is no education. I am the part of government primary school, of Jilla Parishad school, but that was the old days. Nowadays, teachers are better paid. They have the vehicles, they have the cars, but they are not teaching in most of the villages. Many Amartya Sen's, there is a report on that.
Right.
Okay, but still, because of the size of the country, we have enough students who get a better primary and secondary education. But the university education is not that challenging as we have in primary and secondary for these students. The students from good school coming out, he feels that in university education, there are less challenges. Actually, in Western world, university education is so tough and so costly.
Right.
Unless one work for 8 to 10 hours, he cannot sustain there. On the contrary, it's a individual experience in family. A student up to 12th standard is very serious. His parents are serious. Once he joins the college, he becomes relaxed, totally relaxed. That is the 3 years are the most important years in the life of a student, undergraduate years, where you must work hard, 8 to 10 hours a day.
And here it's the other way around. You build your capacities till class 12, then you take it easy, and you get your degree, and then you realize, and then you're unfit.
Then you realize that you miss, because my little exposure all over the world, undergraduate education in India is the main culprit. It has to be strengthened beyond limit, actually.
Okay.
We must be very serious about that. We should not give a degree so easy.
We definitely have huge gaps in our primary and secondary education, but we have, that's not the reason why higher education is not good. That's because our undergraduate program does not treat that degree seriously enough. In
Western world, or all over the world, not only Western world, this higher education is autonomous, in the sense standalone. There is no so-called affiliated system.
Okay.
India has an affiliated system. Lucknow University, thankfully, have only Lucknow city colleges, 140 colleges. But my nearby Kanpur University has 900 colleges of 11 districts. My earlier in Nanded, we have 400 colleges. So affiliated system has its own advantage. So it waters down the quality then? Waters down the quality. So affiliated system was started in London University in 1930s, earlier days. Okay. It discontinued in 1940, 42, 43. And that model we are still continuing. And except in Indian subcontinent, there is no affiliation anywhere in the world. Bharat, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Myanmar. Okay. Otherwise, all over the world is standalone. That university creates the syllabus, they give the degree, everything by them. Right. To me, as an educationalist, I feel that affiliations serve some purpose for some time. For example, expansion. India was badly needing some expansion of higher education. Okay. And affiliation system was very useful for expansion.
But it served the purpose. Served the purpose
to some extent.
Okay.
Secondly, because of affiliating system, the cost of education, per unit cost of education is minimized. Because we have one university and so many colleges. Okay. So no 400 colleges, no 405 chancellor, 400 register. This is happening in Western world. Every is standalone. They have to have their own infrastructure for everything. But everything at the cost of quality and innovation. and creativity.
Okay.
Because affiliation creates governance, strict police rule. Somebody is taking decisions, it is implemented in some colleges. Somebody others is setting the question paper, somebody others giving the degree.
So there's no connect actually.
So what I feel as a person, I want to write in my new book, that we have to take up from affiliating system something, and we take up something from autonomous system, as in Western world, and have the balancing combination of these two.
You've written 12 books, sir, on mathematics. Anything else on the anvil? You're writing another book?
Last 8 to 10 years, I dreamed for so many books, writing books, but because of these demands of the Vice Chancellor post, I was not able to spare the times.
Okay.
I have the skeletons of 2-3 books. There is no book on topology which covers the recent developments. I want in 2 columns. Topology is my basic discipline. And one on education also I want to write.
Okay.
And that education book, what are the demands of the higher education in India? Okay. We have to create the right type of manpower. All these slogans, Make in India, Digital India, will be possible only if universities and colleges produce the right type of manpower.
True.
Otherwise it becomes a dream only.
Very
So
true.
government may be honest. I don't cast positive or negative comments. Government may be honest. They also desire, but unless that kind of manpower is there, we cannot import the manpower.
Absolutely.
No. And I'm fear that this is not still realized by our teacher community at large, decision maker at large, how to supply the good manpower to this country.
Wonderful. And I hope the dream comes true fast, because we all look forward to that book. Professor Nimse, thank you so much for coming onto our show. It was wonderful speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
बम बीमारी से बचने का तरीका कैसे? हाथ खाने से पहले साबुन से धोएंगे, मुंह पिएंगे, प्योरीफाइड पानी पिएंगे, बम साफ टॉयलेट में शौच करेंगे. गुड हैबिट. बीमारी होगी कम.
हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर की पहल.
सिर्फ कोरी त्वचा काफी नहीं. डार्क सर्कल्स और स्पॉट्स हटाकर हम अपनी इनर ग्लो बाहर ला सकते हैं. पॉन्ड्स व्हाइट ब्यूटी स्पॉट रिमूवल टेक्नोलॉजी प्रो विटामिन B3 के साथ ये डार्क सर्कल